I'll just do a simple 3, 2, 1 countdown. I'll do a quick introduction. I'll introduce you. I'll introduce the podcast. I'll introduce you. Lay out the question for you. Easy enough. So you're good.
Let's do it.
All right, buddy. All right. We'll do 3, 2, 1, and we'll go. Hello, and welcome to the One Question Podcast, where we dive deep into the world of learning and development with leading experts. I'm your host, Rob Porter, and today we're exploring the intriguing aspect of e-learning technology and working in global enterprises. So thank you for joining us. Now, join us today. I'm extremely excited. Join us today is Rick Ransome. Rick has over 10 years of experience in adult education space. He's designing and implementing programs that enhance organizational performance and drive business results through employee development. Now, previously, he was a director of learning and organizational development at Leo Burnett. With 16 years as well with Publicis Groupe, he was part of the launch of a centralized learning platform that served over 90,000 employees worldwide. He's an accomplished speaker and a thought leader and a good friend. I'm happy to welcome Rick. Thank you very much for joining.
Hey, thank you, Rob. What an introduction.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and what you didn't include in there was the partnership that we had in terms of launching that centralized learning platform across Publicis Groupe, making learning fun, accessible, but also engaging. So truly appreciate the partnership and all these years of friendship.
Absolutely. Hey, man, it's my pleasure. And thank you. Thanks for joining us. Now, one of the things that we have in these questions is, people provide these questions. We write up other questions. One of the questions that many listeners are eager to better understand, and I think you can answer this. And what can you tell us about this? The question is, what are the 3 key tips for aligning L&D strategies and technologies with the business goals to stay ahead of the curve?
All right. Well, that's a great question. So I would start off by asking when we're talking about the curve. So the curve can be, and I would see it as proactively embracing and adopting and learning about the latest technologies, the latest strategies, the latest methodologies, all that can drive organic growth and performance while aligning or anticipating, future needs. So my first tip going out of the gate is going to be beware the comfort zone. So the comfort zone I'm talking about are going to be, it's not necessarily feeling good or enjoyment, but programs that don't require a lot of sweat, programs that doesn't require a lot of thought. It's rote implementation.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. The danger with that is that you could potentially have a program that lacks innovation. It can lack creativity, and also then you can get into the danger zone of it not driving value. So the way that I would approach that is, one is the awareness and the mindfulness of, are we in a program that's in a blind spot? Do we have a program that's in a comfort zone? That's probably going to be the hardest bit of work there, because once you identify it, then we have tried and true methodologies that we can implement. We all know ADDIE, so analyze, design, develop, implement, evaluate. We also have the newer successive approximation model, which is a much more quicker way to analyze and then institute interventions in order to optimize.
Right.
For an example. Yeah, I've worked in large global implementations as well as smaller regional ones with sometimes these programs, the KPI or the key performance indicator is going to be speed. Get it up, get it running, get it active.
Right. That's the reality.
Exactly. That's the reality. Is that sustainable? And does that continue to carry on? And is speed ultimately going to drive the business?
That makes sense.
So this is where I go into my second tip, which would be alignment. Does the program align to the business outcome? Is it aligned to the work? In terms of, programs where you have to launch quickly, that can sometimes be the KPI, but ultimately, are you operating a program that will start to live in a silo? Keeping it real and being realistic, a lot of programs will sometimes inherit and they will be executed without actually aligned to a business outcome. This is
Sure.
where measurement, data, buy-in from stakeholders and senior leaders in order to ensure that the programs that we're launching, that is the program driving value? Is it driving value in a way that we all understand that it's driving value? Often, if there is a huge translation process to go from the actual program to the actual result, that can sometimes that that can create that can be a potential problem later on. So what are the ways in which we can have a program that is going to align to the business outcome that everyone clearly understands? The example that I have is time management. Time management, that is a great thing. That's a great tool. We could all be better at managing our time. How does time management align to the business outcome, and how are we clearly articulating that success and then clearly articulating that alignment?
Love that.
Yeah. And so then the last one is going to be, and this will go back to the previous two tips, are going to be curiosity. And curiosity, it's more than a buzzword. It's been a buzzword for the last few years.
Sure.
But I'll tell you, a lot of the latest research is looking at curiosity and curiosity as it relates to work-related performance or business performance, meaning that it correlates to the more curious you are, you could potentially be a better performer. So this is what the latest research is looking at. You can use curiosity to look at what are the programs that are in our comfort zone, and what are the ways that we can get it out of our comfort zone to continue to innovate and drive creativity. How can you use creativity to look at the alignment, to look at the KPIs and understand, are these the most accurate and best KPIs? And are these KPIs outside? Are they within the silo? And if they are, how do we get them out of a silo?
Mm-hmm.
And you can't talk about curiosity without talking about AI. And if anybody's watched the press, exactly, ChatGPT, have you logged in? Because ChatGPT is now ChatGPT 4.0, which
I saw that.
is out there. Yeah, exactly. It's really, so it's not just in terms of, and I mean, not to make, that could be a whole podcast talking about AI.
Well, have you come back next time?
Sounds okay. I would love to come back and love to talk about it. So
I love it.
Yeah. The ways in which we can bring AI is looking at and understanding our business, identifying the task and the processes that can be automated using a large language model or an LLM such as ChatGPT or any one of your choice, and then using that to create those efficiencies and those optimizations that ultimately drive, as we talked about earlier, organic growth and performance. So those are my 3 tips. And sometimes
that's great. Those are really easy to understand. They're comprehensive. And they're versatile. I mean, when we look at it from get out of your comfort zone, right? And the tips and how to get out of it, and recognize that you need to get out of it as well. That alignment, I think that's something that's missing across the board in many different programs. It's really, we talk in L&D about how do you get a seat at the table, and I think a big part of that is the alignment, right? It's making sure that your programs are aligned with those business goals. The curiosity part, and stay curious, and constantly question, what are we doing and how are we doing it? And, really identifying and reflecting back on the first 2 points. Rick, this is great. Absolutely great. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Awesome. And to our listeners, we'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences on this topic. Recommend that you head over to our LinkedIn page, answer today's poll, join the discussion, and don't forget to tune in again. Love to hear from you. Thanks again.
I'll be curious to hear what else comes out.
Awesome. Love it. Thanks, Rick. Bye-bye.